So good morning, everybody. Jose J Garcia, real estate investing coach and mentor here. Coffee and mobile home investing with me. This is not really coaching in a sense. It's more so of a networking call. So this is where we can come in and just talk. Let's see. Sure, my coffee's hot anyway. All right. So, one of the things I'm often asked is, how do you know if you're hiring the right coach, the right mentor? And I always tell people, do your research. Now, one thing about it is, people are quick to put bad reviews, but they don't always put a good review. So you can't always go by that either. When I say do your research, do your homework, is more so reach out to the actual coach, the actual mentor. Sometimes you can connect with them. Sometimes it's maybe their staff, their reps, whoever you speak to. But one thing that I always ask myself is, how many deals have this person done? Obviously, if you're talking about mobile home investing coaches, I want to know that that coach has actually doing deals, maybe current and or somewhere also. Do they have their own coaches? There's no such thing as somebody knows it all. That's crap, right? If somebody doesn't have a coach and a mentor themselves, I don't know that that's who I want to be coached by. Me right now, I have 5 different coaches. So, that's right now. I started out with 1 coach, 2 coaches, a mentor here, and I've, swapped, obviously. I actually, my very first coach, one of the things he said was, it is time for you to go out and get you another coach. What he was saying to me at the time was, I have taught you, coach, everything I know, everything you need. But at this point, being that you are venturing into so many other things, it is time for you to, and I'm letting a couple more people in, is get you another coach, another mentor. And I did. And I still, of course, keep in contact with him. He was phenomenal. Did great stuff. We still talk from time to time. But that's one thing that I needed to know, is that he was active. He was doing what I wanted to get into, and he knew how to coach me. Okay. Now, when you're first getting started, that could be a little confusing because, again, you're you're just trying to get advice, suggestions for anybody that can help you. But I think too many times we get the wrong advice, especially if you simply is jumping into YouTube. YouTube is awesome. You can go check out a lot of our media, a lot of our videos that we post on there for coaching, of course. But if you're just listening to any and everybody, it could be the wrong advice. You're trying to get into a hurry, you're running, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you're doing it all based on the wrong advice. You're going nowhere. You're going backwards. You could be in a worse predicament than you first started. Guys, I'm working off my phone. So if anybody has a question, unmute yourself. I know I muted a couple people on here when we first got started. There we go. And same for Instagram. We're live on there as well. Down here, South Florida, where one of my coaches, JT Fox, if y'all don't know who it is, definitely go check him out. I've also seen another one of my coaches down here with him, who came through him, Hugh Hilton. So he's also here. We met with him for a few minutes yesterday. We're connecting a little bit. And of course, we had a coaching a couple of days past this week also. So again, big names. A lot of people say, well, I cannot afford a coach. My coaches put it this way to me: you cannot afford not to afford a coach. If you're trying to reinvent the wheel, you're trying to do it all on yourself, you're trying to be cheap, save money, it may in the end cost you more money trying to do it yourself, trying to figure it out. Because one thing I've learned about education is, and this is the right education, by the way, I'm not talking about school education, formal education, nothing against that. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm more so talking about the right education when it comes to investments. Depends on what you're trying to get into to be successful. Okay. You're going to pay for your education no matter what. Either you hire somebody, you get a coach, you get a mentor, and they walk you through, save you time, save you headaches, that's for sure. Or you go out and do it on yourself and you learn mistake after mistake. Now, one thing about it is, one is going to teach you right. At least you're going to get ahead. The other one, you may end up figuring it out. You may not. I don't know. But it's not really the ideal way to go about it, because one thing about it is, you can always get your money back somehow or another. If you have a bad investment and you end up having to sell it at one point or another, and you get some money back, maybe even if you lose out money on it, there's one thing that you gain out of it, and that was the knowledge of, don't do that again, right? But the time you wasted, the time you spent, you don't get that back. Okay, I think I let everybody in. So, okay, so just pay attention to that. That's always the thing is, if you're wasting too much time over money, that's not one thing that you gain back. Once time is gone, it is what it is, kind of thing. So don't make that mistake. Okay. And yes, people have asked me, if you could do one thing again, if you were getting started all over into mobile home investing, what's the one thing that you could do differently or would do differently? Get a coach and a mentor. It took me a year. Okay. A little bit over 12 months before I decided, maybe I need to get somebody who knows how to do this as well. Because all the questions, you're not always going to be able to figure them out. And even when you think you figured them out or you know what to do now differently, then obviously when you got started or made the mistake, you may still be doing something wrong. You think it's different, maybe it's a little better off, but it doesn't mean that you're doing the right thing now moving forward. So if I could do something different, it's definitely start with the coach and or a mentor. Okay. You cannot afford not to afford. That is a tactic. One thing, the best investment you will ever make is in yourself. Remember that. Nobody can take that from you. Okay. Investments are good, assets are great, but investing in yourself, that's where you need to start. Start investing wisely. As I was mentioning down here, I'm actually down here for a 4-day event. Came down here for the Mega Success. If y'all don't know what that is, go check out Mega Success by JT Fox. Massive event where they have celebrities, they have very many successful people, and it's all about the environment. Okay, you're not necessarily down here to so much learn so many things in this event as much as you are to surround yourself around the right people, because one connection can make a huge difference, and that's how you get ahead. It's that one network that you do where you go out, you start talking to people, you meet up. Maybe there's somebody who's doing the same thing you're doing, maybe somebody already doing or have done something that you're getting into. So that was always that one connection, but it only happens if you surround yourself around the right people. Okay, you're piddling around, you're wasting time. I'll tell you one thing, you will not get successful watching Netflix and or hanging around with family with a bunch of naysayers. Okay, a little real for you, I know, but it is what it is, right? I got a whole video on that, by the way, naysayers and what ifs and the family. Family mean well. Okay, let's talk about that real quick. Family. If I listen to my family and what I should be doing, what I should have got into, I would still be back in corporate, okay, and going to a 9-to-5 job every day that I hated. Yes, hated very badly. And I still do just thinking about it. So my goodness, I wasted too much time there, and I should have got out of there a lot earlier. Should I listen to my coaches, the mentors, right? Family many times mean well, but they don't know better. Okay. And just because it's your mom, your dad, your uncle, whoever it may be, telling you should do this, you should do that, you know, it's aggravating and it can be upsetting when you're thinking about, well, it is family, I want to listen to them. You could be losing your vision, your goal, if you're listening to somebody else. That goal, that vision is putting yourself for a reason, right? And that's because it's for you to pursue it, not them. They don't see that vision because it's not in them. Implement it yourself and go after it. Consistency, persistency, you will get there sooner or later, but you have to listen to the right people. Listen to family, take in, but don't soak it in, right? Let them talk out what they feel they need to tell you, because sooner or later they will tell you, and they will be happy that you didn't listen to them, right? Again, my family many times told me, don't do this, don't do that. Now suddenly asking me, how do you do this? How do you do that? Now, why is that? Because I had to overcome that and go after what I knew I had to do to be successful. Many times you have to distance yourself and get away from that people for a little while, okay? Distance yourself, go be successful, come back, take them in. Some people will come, some people will not. Guys, speak up. If, like I said, this is not a coaching call. I'm just blabbering on, but this is for networking. So anybody have any suggestions? Anybody on here have a coach and mentor? How has your experience been with a coach? What about somebody who had a bad experience with the coach? Because you have a lot of those. And again, you hire somebody who thought, see, that's the thing is right now, when you log into Google or YouTube or any of this, everybody's a guru. Everybody's a guru, everybody's a coach, everybody's a mentor. And some of these people have not done one single deal or don't even know what they're talking about, right? Verify, trust and verify. I made a video on that. It was a different topic, but it had to do a lot with the same thing. And it's all because too many people portraying something they themselves are not. What is the biggest difference between a teacher, a coach, and a mentor? Anybody? Comment, suggest, speak up.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, coach and a mentor. Go ahead, whoever that was.
Hey, Jay, good morning.
Mark, yes, sir. Good morning.
Hey, I did want to make one comment. I mentioned to you when I first got started that when I did real estate, a lot of the lessons I learned the hard way by not having a coach. I learned a lot of hard lessons. And I had a situation last week with the park owner. And I was going to message you about this. But a park owner, not the park owner, the park manager, this was in Macon, the park I'll leave unnamed. But the park owner or the park manager messaged me or messaged the park manager to tell her that the sewer was backing up. The sewer from one of the trailers was backing up from the sewer line. And I messaged the park manager to have someone look at it for us. The park manager messaged me back to tell me that, or sent me back a plumber's number. And my response back to her was, no, I'm not going to contact the plumber because that's your responsibility. And Uh, just that whole conversation changed completely. Now that she knows that I know that's not my responsibility, now, you know what? Oh, I'll take care of it. Of course, thank you. And we move on. But just having a mentor gives you the ability to, one, even though I'm not an expert, I'm still learning the business. But by having a mentor, I can kind of position myself a little differently than I would, because I thought back to some of my real estate experiences where I would have had to have roughed through that and probably figured out the hard way that, you know what, that wasn't my responsibility. $3,000 later, you know, because
Mhm.
that's not a cheap repair.
Who's your mentor, by the way?
You are.
I had to do it.
Ah,
Absolutely. So, and again, that's the thing is saving you headache, saving you time, and saving you money. And that's what a
yeah.
mentor should be doing for you is they should be looking out for you because they themselves have gone through it. And you're right. When I first got started, I didn't look for anybody else. And many times I started getting and paying for things that I didn't have to do. And many times it was just doing the job. Park owners, great people, they're business people, of course, and park managers who work right under them. If they can put something on you, sometimes I've gathered that they do. They will, because that saves them time, saves them maybe even money. That's not good business practice, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to do it. And I many times spent a lot of times on doing things that I didn't have to do or should have even been doing because that wasn't my job. If you're looking to get into mobile home investing, yes, guys, be sure to reach out to me. Visit my site at garciamhu.com. We are taking new students at this time, so definitely something we can help you with, mobile home investing. But Mark, you said something on there is, you're still learning. And that's the thing about investing. And that's the thing about life is you never stop learning. Only the formal education teaches you that, hey, after high school, you're done. After college, you're done. No such thing. Life, you never stop
Mhm.
learning. You always learn something new and you always keep educating yourself thoroughly. Okay.
Mhm.
Everybody starts from a different level. Okay. So, a mentor put it to me this way is, if you take a group of people, they're all getting into mobile home or real estate or whatever investment they're trying to get into is think about it almost like a GPS. Somebody's in Chicago, somebody's in Atlanta, somebody's in Texas, somebody's in California, but you're all trying to get somewhere. Let's say it's somewhere in the center of USA, right? Would you implement the same map to everybody? It wouldn't work out because we're all coming from different areas. So in the same way, so many people have more education than other people. Somebody maybe already done a deal. So therefore, you don't have to follow the same process. And a coach and a mentor has to walk you through differently. So there's no set plan, no set coaching program for everybody. That's another thing that you should be following up and picking up when you're maybe interviewing. I'll put it that way. You should interview a mentor and a coach just like they're interviewing you, much like a job, if you will, right? But that's one thing to keep in mind is that we don't all start from the same place. Mark, you yourself, you come from real estate. Yes, it's different from mobile homes in a sense, but many things are the same way. But you're able to come in from a distance differently from somebody who's never done a simple investment. Maybe all they've done is a 9 to 5 job. So again, something to keep in mind. Okay. Now, a coach and a mentor, I think there's a little bit of a misconception, and I know I've gotten this many times, is I think a lot of people think that a coach and a mentor is there to do the job for them. That's not going to work. Okay. Nothing works unless you do. You learn by doing it. Think about if I wanted to teach you how to ride a bicycle, right? Well, you don't have to ride it. I'm just going to keep showing you over and over how to ride the bicycle. Then I hand you the bicycle. Do you suddenly know how to ride that bicycle? You've gone nowhere. You watch me repeatedly do something over and over, but unless you got on it yourself and bust your butt one time or two, you don't know what it's like to ride a bicycle. Well, the same thing happens in business. Unless you get out there and do it, you're never going to learn how to do it. A coach and a mentor holds you accountable. That's it. They show you the way, they show you how to save time, headaches, money, and they show you how to be done. But it's you who eventually has to get out there and get it done, right? Anybody on Instagram? I think I can hear you. If you do speak up, my volume is up on that phone as well. So a couple more things here, and then I'm going to go. Down here, like I said, Mega Success, this awesome event, full of motivation, awesome stuff happening down here. A lot of networking. That's one thing is, networking. When you get advanced, and it doesn't have to be events like this about motivation. It could be local RIAs, investment groups, anywhere you can, even a Zoom call, network. Put your name on the chat box. Hey, I invest in mobile homes. Anybody want to connect? Here's my number. Here's my email. Guys, take advantage of calls like this because this is how you grow. Okay, staying quiet, staying in a corner, that's not going to get it done. I can tell you all about that because growing up, I was an introvert. Nobody talked to me. I didn't talk to anybody. And bottom line, I didn't know anybody. So I didn't get ahead that way. Okay. Let me see. A couple other things I wanted to do. Consistency. You know, consistency is key. One thing that I make an example of this, like, look, the most successful people have coaches and mentors. So who are you to think that you don't need a coach and a mentor? Think about an athlete, for instance, a football player, a basketball player, a boxing star. It doesn't matter who it is. Do they or do they not have coaches? Can that coach technically, in a way, do it better than they can? But it doesn't matter because they're there to guide them and bring the very best out of them that otherwise they would not be able to do with one, accountability, or by simply pushing them forward to get the best out of them. So think about it that way. Do you need a coach? Do you need a mentor? Everybody. It doesn't matter what business you're getting into. You should get a coach, you should get a mentor, and sooner or later you should get more than one. You should get a few. The most successful people out there have many, many coaches, and so should you. Any questions before we go? All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining me. I know I was a few minutes late on here. I'm going to go back and do some more networking, go get some more motivation, learn some more so that I can implement it on calls like this as well. Do not forget on Sundays, which is tomorrow, Sunday at 8 p.m., we have a very good topic to cover tomorrow night. As a matter of fact, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, free coaching call, coaching series with me, holding contractors accountable. Had a couple issues with a couple contractors, and I figured I'll make the call on that. Holding contractors accountable. I think too many of you just kind of let people, you hire people, you let them go out and do what you feel like hopefully they're doing. Most times they're not. So we're going to talk about how to hold them accountable. So join us on that tomorrow at 8 p.m. And then on Tuesday, of course, we have the Let's Do Deals call, pitching new deals. We have a whole lot of new inventory. A lot of you are asking about Central Georgia. When will we have more? Well, we got them now. We got a lot of opportunities for you coming in other states as well. If you have a deal to pitch, if you have a deal you think you want to pitch or think you have a deal, period, bring it on there. Happy to break it up and see how we can look at it. You know, the best thing about that is that when you bring a deal to me, I'm going to break it down the same way that I would any other deal. So that is a great way for people to learn how to break deals, if nothing more, right? All right, guys. Well, thank you all for joining me. Instagram, y'all have a great day, and Zoom. Thank you all as well. Till Sunday night. We'll see you then.